Hey sis, welcome to the podcast. Today we're diving into a topic that's tough but it's important. Accepting disrespect when all you want to feel is love. I get it, it's hard. But when your heart craves attention, love, and connection, it's quite easy to overlook red flags or just let things slide just to keep someone. But now, sis, we need to talk about why you're settling for less than you deserve and how to break that cycle. So, grab your favorite drink, take a deep breath, and let's have a heart to heart. Big sister to little sister.
She don't need no makeup, standing on her Bible, her foundation. She don't need no man, she locking in with God, no relation. She don't need no filter, she can rock it natural, his creation. She a dream girl, see her just in your imagination. She a bag, but she in her Bible too. Oh, you holy, huh?
Hey sis, hey. Welcome back to season 2 of the podcast. So nice to have you here with me. Today we're going to talk about something that I know is not easy to admit, but I know many of us have been here. Accepting disrespect when all we really want is to be loved. And I know it's a tough conversation, but it's definitely one that we need to have, okay? So let's just jump right into it. First thing first, let's just call it what it is. Wanting love is human. It's a natural response to want love. We are wired to seek connections, to feel valued, to know that we matter for real to someone. But sometimes that longing that we're searching for, called love, can cloud our judgment. We, especially as women, we start ignoring the red flags and making excuses for their bad behavior, or even going so far as to convince ourselves that it's not that bad, just to say we have somebody. But let me say this. Let me tell you something that I wish somebody would have told me sooner. Love is not supposed to hurt. Love is not supposed to make you question your worth or make you feel as though so small. So now the question is, why do we accept disrespect? It's not because we're weak or because we don't know any better. But if you just sit back and reflect and go way, way back, sometimes it's because we've been taught, whether indirectly or directly, that it's something we have to earn. The first place you find love is in your home, right? And maybe you grew up in a home where love felt conditional, where you had to achieve or behave or even bend yourself into someone else's idea of worthiness to get the attention or affection that you desire. I'm telling y'all, I don't speak about nothing. I've said this time and time again over on TikTok. I don't speak about anything that I have not been through. I only speak about my experiences. As a child that was raised on a pedestal for a long period of time in my life, I can attest to this. Whether it was a past relationship that had you questioning whether the love you wanted even actually existed. I get it. My history with people has been filled with people that honestly did not honor me. They did not value me. They did not know how valuable I was to even be in their lives, honestly. They didn't know. And it's not their fault. And I don't blame them. Baby sis, I need you to know that what you're asking for is not too much. You just been asking the wrong people. So let's break this down. Disrespect comes in all shapes, forms, and sizes. It could be something as simple as somebody is mislabeling your feelings, or it could be very loud, like very outright disrespectful mistreatment. But here's the thing. That's what I want you to know. It does not matter how it shows up. Every time it happens, it's taking a piece of you away. Every time you let it slide. Every time you tell yourself, it's okay, I can handle it. You're sending yourself a message that your peace does not matter as much as keeping this person around. And I know that's hard. I know it's hard for you to hear it. I know it's hard for you to process it. But mentally, you need to change that narrative because your peace matters. You matter. What you desire matters. Your dignity matters. So, why do we stay in situations like this where we've allowed people for so long to out loud disrespect us? Why do we tolerate disrespect when all we want to be is loved? I think that deep down, it's because we hope that things will change. We hope that we can love these people just a little bit more every day to show them that we will be there for them and that things will change. We hope that if we're patient enough, understanding enough, or quiet enough, that the person will see our worth and start treating us better. But honestly, here's the hard truth. You cannot, you cannot love somebody into respecting you. If it's not in them, it's just not in them. This is a lesson that I've had to learn the hard way the last 4 years. There is quite literally nothing that you can say. There is nothing that you can do. There is no act of nothing. There's no love language. There's nothing that you can physically act out that will make somebody respect you if they don't respect you. Respect isn't something that you beg for. They don't beg you to respect them. So why are you begging them to respect you? They don't beg you to love them. So why are you begging them to love you? You get where I'm going? They don't expect you to not come to them with love and loyalty. So why are you begging for the things that you give naturally and freely? Respect is something that should be given freely by everybody who sees your value from the start, from the very beginning. You will not have to bend over backwards. You won't have to do anything that conforms you from being your natural self to be respected. And I also want to acknowledge, because I did feel like this for a very long time, I also want to acknowledge that sometimes many of us stay because we're scared of what's on the other side. Maybe you're thinking, if I walk away from this, will I find somebody? Will I find somebody else? Or will I be alone forever? And baby sis, let me tell you, being alone is better than being with somebody that will tear you down and wear you out. I will say that again. Being alone is better than being with somebody that will tear you down and wear you out. And I'm not saying that to minimize your fear or invalidate your feelings, because that feeling that you have, the emotion that come behind those very two statements I just made are real and valid. It is so real for you to feel like that. It's so valid for you to have that feeling. But I'm also here to remind you that being alone can be a season of rediscovering yourself. A season of pouring all that love that you give to other people back into yourself. And again, speaking from experience, let me tell you, when you start loving yourself out loud and boldly, the world around you starts to shift. So, let's talk about how to break this cycle of acceptance, disrespect. The first step is to recognize it, to accept it. And I know it sounds simple. It ain't always easy, but it's very simple. Sometimes you'll get so used to certain behaviors like gaslighting and people being emotionally unavailable and seeing their inconsistency. You've seen it so long that you don't even recognize that it's a form of disrespect anymore. But anything that makes you feel less than, unheard, unworthy is not okay, and it's disrespectful. So start paying attention to how people's actions make you feel. I talk about this a lot over on my TikTok, especially more recently. Trusting your gut, trusting your intuition. Because what happens is, for so long, we've accepted disrespect that it's gotten to the point where you can't even trust your instincts anymore. And that's why you stay in that situation. When honestly, if it don't feel right, it ain't right. The next step to breaking this cycle is to set boundaries. And not only set boundaries, stand on it. You could go back to season 1, possibly episode 3, where we talk about setting healthy boundaries. And there's probably going to be an episode in every season from here on about boundaries. And I know I talk about boundaries a lot. And that's because they are important. Boundaries are literally the blueprint on how you teach people how to treat you. It's not about being mean or pushing people away. Boundaries are about protecting your peace and making space for relationships and people that feel good and that align with you. And if somebody crosses your boundary, whether it's raising their voice at you, belittling you, ignoring you, not prioritizing you, no matter how big or small, you need to call it out right away. And if it's necessary, walk away. Because boundaries are an act of self-love. If I don't talk to myself this way, if I don't treat myself this way, why on God's green earth are you think I'm going to allow you to do that to me? you never thought. I want you to remember that you deserve to love yourself that much, to stick to the way that you treat yourself and not allow nobody to treat you any other type of way. But I know it takes time for you to get to that point. So that's why in every season we're going to continue to talk about it. I also want to encourage you to take this time to heal. If you've been in relationships where disrespect has been consistently a pattern, it'll leave scars, whether it's mentally or physically. It can make you doubt yourself. It can make you question your own judgment, make you feel like you're not enough, but you've been enough from the very beginning. You will always be enough. And something simple as healing reminds you of that truth every day, that you are enough. You should definitely surround yourself with people who will lift you up and do things that will bring you joy, and maybe even, just a little bit. Seek therapy to help you work through things that you want to heal, but you can't quite get over by yourself. It's not just something that you do one day and you wake up overnight and everything just magically gets better. It don't work like that. But every step forward is a step towards the love you truly deserve. And here's the thing. The love you truly deserve will never require you to shrink yourself. It won't require you to compromise your peace or accept anything less than respect. Because real love sees you, it will value you, and it will lift you up. But before that kind of love can find you, you got to give it to yourself. You have to quite literally set the standard for how you want to be treated by treating yourself with the utmost kindness, care, and respect. Because when you do that, you send a signal not only to your brain, but you put that energy out there into the world that you know you are worthy of the best. And you won't accept anything less than that. So to wrap this up, I want to leave you with this. And I've been saying this to myself for the last 4 or 5 years, but I definitely have been talking more about it on my platforms. Love doesn't hurt. Love doesn't disrespect. And you won't have to settle for anything less than the love that you've always been dreaming of. It starts with you. It starts with knowing your worth, with setting those healthy boundaries, and walking away from anything that doesn't honor you, that does not show what you show to yourself. You deserve a love that feels safe. You deserve a love that feels more enjoyable. A love that celebrates every part. And that love will come along when you start loving and respecting yourself first. Thank you for spending time with me today, sis. I hope this conversation has reminded you of your worth, and it has given you the strength to demand the love and respect you deserve. I hope you start pouring back into yourself. But until next time, keep your head held high. Keep loving yourself fiercely and boldly. And keep setting the standard for yourself. I'm here cheering for you every step of the way. You got this. And I love you. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. Until next time.
She don't need no makeup, standing on her Bible, her foundation. She don't need no man, she locking in with God, no relation. She don't need no filter, she can rock.